Hello! For today's adventure, we are headed to the Adirondack Park of New York. The Adirondack Park is very large. It's larger than, I believe, Yellowstone and Glacier combined, something like that. It takes up a huge area. Unfortunately, in the entire area, there are only 2 DC fast chargers, and I believe they are only 50 kW chargers, so they're not really that fast. So there's not a lot of charging infrastructure, and we're going to be boondog camping using the Pro Power on board to support our campsite. So it'll be interesting to see what we have to do to get a charge, to keep a charge, to maintain our charge while we're camping. And we're also going to take a run up Whiteface Mountain. We had such a good time on our video linked above where we went up the Mount Washington Auto Road that we're going to try Whiteface Mountain as well on this trip. Welcome back to E-Hermes, your electric adventure travel channel. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell button to be notified of our upcoming content. Since we did not leave home with a full battery, we were only about 80%. We had to stop at the Fredonia, New York supercharger, or DC fast charger, Electrify America. Unfortunately, it's having some service or something done, and we're only going to get 31 kilowatts charging speed, which is a little bit disappointing. Fortunately, we don't need to be here long, so we're just going to get enough to get to the next station and then hit back on the road. The Fredonia, New York DC fast charger at Walmart was disappointing, to say the least. I was there for an hour to get about 30 or 40% charge. So now we're at the Evolve, New York, also Electrify America station in Rochester. And this looks like it's going to go much better. We're up to 136 kW. I think the fastest I ever had in Fredonia was 36. So this is 4 times better. So this should be much better. We don't have to be here long. We're just going to get to Utica. Then we're going to do a deep charge there. And then we're heading up into the Adirondacks to probably a destination charger. So here we are at the Utica, New York DC fast charger. Evolve, New York. Shell Recharge, I think it goes by, which I have their app. We're all set up. We're getting 128 kilowatts. All is good. I was gonna go have some dinner, but I'm in the center of town, but I'm glad I'm here and not Mrs. E-Hermes by herself, because I don't think she'd be that comfortable. Not sure I'm that comfortable. Anyhow, we're gonna get a deep charge here because this is our last fast charger before we get up into the Adirondacks. So we'll probably be here for about an hour. Well, I found a bar down on Main Street, so I had myself a brew. And when it got to 70%, it was going on 136 kilowatt. It dropped to 20, so I think we're done here for the night. We're at 70%. That'll get me up into the Adirondacks. I'm gonna have to find a level 2 up there to finish it off. Last night we cruised in kind of late. It was between 11 and midnight to Golden Beach Campground, where we'll be staying the next 2 nights. I didn't have a site reserved last night, so I just pulled in and found an empty site. I knew there were empty sites from their website. So since we got in late and I knew it was gonna rain, which it did, I just slept in the back seat. So today we're going to go to one of the 2 DC fast chargers that are within the Adirondacks, get the battery filled up, then come back here and set up our camp for the night. Interestingly, at Golden Beach Campground, the trash and recycling area has an electric fence around it to keep the bears out. We charged at both the Keene and Schroon Lake DC fast chargers. They're both Evolve New York. Shell, what's it called? Shell Recharge stations. The app works, credit card works, everything works on them, but they will only charge to 90%. Actually, at 89%, they both kicked off. Even when I try to reset them and redo it, that's all you're gonna get out of them is 89 or maybe 90% if you keep refeeding them. So that's what you're going to get, which I understand. They're trying to get people in and out, and it goes pretty fast to 90%, and it really slows down after that. So just keep that in mind. You can't go to 100% at these stations. Here is our campsite at Golden Beach Campground in the Adirondack Park. Have a nice view of the lake right from the campsite.
And while we were here, we tried out a new product. The Sofern LT1S Camping Lantern. It is less than 4 inches tall and less than 3 inches in diameter. But what you will truly appreciate about it is that with less than 3 hours charge from a USB outlet, it gives you up to 500 hours of runtime. That's it on the right. It has multiple levels of lighting in both warm and cool white, as well as red. You can even charge your other devices off its 2170 lithium-ion battery. I really like the warm white color and the amount of light it produces compared to the much larger light on the left. That is a very harsh cool white.
This is on the lowest setting in the warm white light in the tent. Just giving a little bit of light so I can see what I'm doing here. I wouldn't really want to read or anything like this, but if I want to do that, I could turn it up substantially.
You can even set it so that light only comes out of one side to further extend the battery life. Mrs. E-Hermes and I used it as a nightlight for several nights, and while I did not verify the 500 hours, it used barely any of the battery. In the interest of full disclosure, Sofern did provide this lantern to me at no charge, although I am not being otherwise compensated. While you can't get one for free, if you use this link shown here, you can get one at a reduced price. We then moved on to Fish Creek Pond Campground, still in the Adirondacks.
And lo and behold, they have not one, not two, actually there's 3 and 4 Clipper Creek J1772 chargers. They're actually free. We're leaving here tonight with 43% state of charge. When we wake up in the morning, it should be 100%. It rained most of the night, and it's supposed to rain torrentially today. So between rain showers, I came up here a little bit early. Because I'm a little bit early, we only got 99% charge. So still, we have a full charge for the day
To head up Whiteface Mountain.
From the Au River, we start up Whiteface Mountain. This is the Whiteface Mountain Veterans Memorial Highway. We are starting with 259 miles of range, 85% battery. First stop on our way up the mountain is North Pole, New York, home of Santa's Workshop. I'm sure Santa and the elves are very busy this time of year getting ready for Christmas in less than 6 months. So we won't stop there and bother them today. We've gone 2.5 miles, used 2% or 3%. $20. Okay. I believe that's less than Mount Washington was. Quite a gate they have for the to close it off when it's closed at night. I like the rock on the end as a counterweight. It would be best if it was a perfectly sunny day, but that's not always how life is, so we're gonna make the best of it. He said we can't go to the top, all the way to the top, walking because the trail's too wet. And actually there's an elevator, but it's broken. But we're gonna drive as far as the road goes, and that's the main reason we're here today. And the sun is shining a little bit, although they said the visibility at the top is 0. This route goes up 2,300 feet in 5 miles, so it's pretty steep. Of course, we're having no problems, as we proved on Mount Washington. We're walking right up it. Gonna use a lot of battery. We'll get most of it back coming down. Sun was out for a little bit, now it's raining. Oh, should be a rainbow. We have gone 5 miles, we've used 6% of the battery, and we're averaging 0.6 miles per kilowatt hour. That's from the very bottom, not from the toll building. We've gone 7 miles, used 8% of our battery capacity, still averaging 0.6 miles per kilowatt hour. While a sunny day would be nice, and in fact, if the sun comes out when I'm here later this week, and it's a really nice day, I might redo this. To do it in the sun, but I actually kind of like this weather as well with the fog and clouds kind of rolling up the mountain. I think it's beautiful in its own way that way. 4,289 feet.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, no view. Trail's closed. Elevator's closed. castle's open, but no restrooms, no gift shop. Other than that, it's a great day to be here.
Beautiful day.
All right, about 200 yards ahead, you can see the flagpole. Just turn around in front of it, park along the side if you want to go in the castle.
Okay, so this is the end of the line, end of the road. As far as we're gonna go, there's a castle. It's kind of interesting. Kind of, I guess, sort of, in a way. Let's get turned around here. Pop back in the bike rack into the wall. We used 9%, 0.6 miles per kilowatt hour. It was 8 miles up here. We are back down, 15.9 miles, 221 miles of range, 81% state of charge. We lost 4% state of charge in 16 miles, which is a little bit more than I would have expected. The weather probably didn't help. I did get the opportunity to go back up and have a look around and take some pictures with much better views on a day later in the week when it had stopped raining. Got all the way to the summit, saw the castle, took some pictures. One of the main reasons I came on this trip was to get in some hiking and conditioning for my trip later this year out to Angel's Landing in Zion National Park. So I want to do some hiking up some of the mountains in the Adirondacks, but it rained most days, as you know. But I did find one good day where I was able to hike not one, but actually two trails, Cascade Mountain and Porter Mountain. And the reason that worked is because they share the same trail for most of the length, and then there's a spur off to Porter Mountain. Overall, it is a combined 5.6 mile hike with 2,286 feet of elevation gain. And as you can see from some of the photos, it is pretty much a rocky scramble for most of the way. It was a good day for a hike. We got to the top of both of them and really enjoyed it. Well, another day, another 100% charge I wake up to. I thought I reset it to only charged 85% last night, but I must not have hit the save. So I think I've charged here 4 out of the 5 nights I've stayed at this charger about 300 yards from my campsite. It's not quite as convenient as having it right at your campsite with a NEMA 1450, but since there's no power in the campground at the sites, this is a pretty good compromise, and it's a real game changer being able to charge overnight while you're sleeping, because the truck's just sitting there anyhow, and you get to wake up with a full charge. You don't have to worry. You can do all your errands for the day, your sightseeing, whatever you're doing. It's a wonderful thing. And it's good that I got that full charge, because I went on a pretty long day trip the next day, pretty much across the Adirondack Park to the very northeast corner to Au Sable Chasm, where you hike and ride a raft through the gorge. This is me going backwards across the bridge. See how long this lasts. Not that long. This part of the raft trip was pretty mild, but there were some minor rapids you go through. And there are other things you can do that I did not take advantage of because, shockingly, it was going to rain later in the day. There is zip lining and a challenge course as well. Because we wanted to get an early start today and we did not want dew all over the tent, I put everything down last night so it would be dry, packed the truck up, and we are ready to go. But because of that, I slept in the truck at the campsite and I did not charge it overnight, all night, although I did charge it in the evening for a few hours. So we're leaving with 74% state of charge, 206 miles of range. We have 109 miles to our first charger. So since we didn't get the full charge last night, the truck wants me to make 3 stops going home in Watertown, New York, Rochester, New York, and Erie, Pennsylvania. I'm going to stay at the Watertown charger long enough, I think, that I can skip Rochester. So we'll just have the 2 charges, Watertown and then Erie, PA. If I don't get all the way to Erie, there are a couple between Rochester and Erie. There's one at Premium Outlets in, I forget where, somewhere between around Buffalo. And there's one in Buffalo. So plenty of opportunities once we're closer to the highways like that. I think I'm going to stay off the highways and do some more just back road driving because I enjoy it. But we'll be close to the highway. So if I need to jump over to get on one or to get to a charger, I can do that. I charged so fast there that I had both the app from the truck and the charging station yelling at me to get back to the truck. So because I got to 90% in, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, it was really quick. We're gonna get to Buffalo, and then that'll get us home. So we should be good. Don't see that every day. So we did have one more charge in Buffalo, charged beside that F-150 Lariat. I believe that's the first time I've charged beside one of those. We hope that this video showed you that even in a remote area like the Adirondack Park, where there are very few level 3 DC fast chargers, you can still get by. I think we drove over 500 miles in a week, and we relied on level 2 chargers. Particularly at the campground, it is always best to charge when you're sleeping. That's the key. That's why these videos sometimes make the situation look harder than it is. But the 90% of the time when you're at home, you charge when you're sleeping in the garage. You charge when you're sleeping, either in the garage, or this stays outside the garage, but the charger's in the garage. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. Please remember to subscribe, and please hit that bell button to be notified of our upcoming content. Thank you!